So, what does price action mean? First of all price action is a visual record of what buyers and sellers are already doing. Every move that you see in the charts, every candle, every wick, every body is showing the fight between buying and selling pressure. So it's constantly a fight between the bulls and the bears. Bulls mean the people that are driving the market higher, and the bears are the people that's moving the market lower. So bullish means up, bears means down. So if you could just read what's going on in the candlesticks, if you can understand the story that price action is trying to tell you, you make money. You make money. It's that simple. All you gotta do is understand the candlesticks and then you make money. Alright, so let's go down. So this is how the market is shown. It's shown in a graph with the y-axis being time and then the x-axis being the y-axis being price and then the x-axis being time. So the y-axis is just tracking the price of the asset and how high and low it goes, and then this is just the time interval on whatever time frame that you're trading on. What does a candlestick represent? A candlestick just shows how price moved within a specific time frame. So we got 1 minute time frame, we got 5 minute time frame, we got hourly time frame, we got daily time frame. So right here is just a picture of the different time frames that you have. So right here, the first one, we have a 4-hour candle, right? So, but what does that mean? This is 4 hours of price action represented in one singular candle. But then if you change your time frame to the hourly time frame, now it's going to be four. That's going to be 4 hourly candles within the one 4-hour time frame. And then if you go lower, the 15 minute is going to be 16 15-minute candles inside one 4-hour candle, and it's going to be 4 15 minutes inside one 1 hour, and then inside of the 4-hour overall is 241 minute candles. Same thing for the hourly chart. For the hourly chart, we have 4 15-minute candles that's inside the hourly chart. We have 61-minute candles inside 1 hour because there's 60 minutes in 1 hour, obviously, right? So the lower that you go on the time frame, the more candles open up, the more data there's going to be, the more detail there's going to be. Then 15-minute, we have 3 5-minute candles, then one 15-minute then there's going to be 15 1-minute candles in that one 15-minute candle. So that's just the nature of candlesticks. The higher the candlestick is, the less data is going to be in that candlestick. The lower you go, the more detail is going to be in candlesticks, right? So if you're looking at a daily candle, it's going to be 6 4-hour candles or 24 hourly candles, right? So the lower the lower the time frame that you go, the more detail opens up to you. All right, let's go lower. So each candle has 4 main parts. We have the open. That's where price opens at. We have the close where the price ends at. We have the highest point that the candle reached in that time frame, which is the high, and then we have the low, the lowest price reached during that time frame. The bodies is this big chunky part, and then the wicks are the low lines. So if we're looking at a bullish candlestick, right, you have to understand that the candle opens up down here. This is the opening price. So pretty much, if a candle opens somewhere and then it ends up closing higher than where it opened from, that candle is going to end up being a green candle. But then if it opens, like let's say we open down here, if it ends up closing down here lower than where the price opened from, it's going to be a red candle. So right here we open, price went up, but it ended up ultimately closing down here. So this ended up being a red candle, a down candle, a bearish candle. So that's what it is when it comes to these candlesticks. As long as the price closes above where it opened from, it's going to be a bullish candle, and then if it closed below from where it opened from, it's going to be a bearish candle. And then there's all these different types of candles. There's a bunch of different names for different candles and all that stuff, but you really don't even need to know all that. All you really need to know is just the characteristics of candlesticks. Like, it's gonna be some candles where we open, and then the price is gonna close really close to where it opened at. Let me show you guys an example. Like I said, it's gonna be sometimes where price will close really close to where it opens at, and that's pretty much just an indecision candle. So it's gonna be like, we call those like 50-50 candles. So let me see if I can find any. Maybe I can find some on the daily chart. I'm just gonna try to find some 1 minute candles that represent that. Like this candle right here. This candle right here, it was a really close candle. It's not as close as I thought. But you get the memo though. Like, it's gonna be some candles where it's gonna be kind of just almost in the middle. Like this one, buyers try to push price up, and then sellers end up bringing it back down, but it ended up still ultimately closing bullish. But ultimately, when it comes to these candlesticks though, all you gotta do is just pay attention to the wicks and pay attention to the bodies. That's all you gotta do. Like, it's gonna be sometimes, like here, buyers try to push price up, because that's all a wick shows. It shows that buyers try to push something up, and then once you have a long wick like that, that shows that buyers, they weren't able to get price up as high as I wanted to. You know what I'm saying? They didn't push price up. They didn't have control of the market like how they thought they did, and sellers ended up getting control. So that's what a long wick shows. But that's back to what I says when I say all you gotta do is just understand the characteristics of the candlesticks, and then it just becomes, it's just kind of just like, it's just easy. You're just reading the story. All right, now next, the body. The body is, all right, next, the body is the strength of control. So the body shows who had more control, buyers or the sellers. If the body is large and green, buyers dominated. They pushed price higher and crossed strong near the top. If the body is large and red, that means sellers dominated and they pushed price lower and closed strong near the bottom. If the body is small, that means neither side had full control, and it was more of a balance and uncertain. So a strong body means strong momentum. A small body means often hesitation, consolidation, or a pause before the next move. So back to the chart. I could just show you guys some examples. Like right here, this is a really chunky body right here. So that shows a lot of bullish momentum. But then a candle like this is a candle that shows indecision. Like, it's a really skinny candle. It's like a 50-50 candle. But then the next couple of candles, we have some pretty clear bullish candles, right? But these are pretty small. This one right here, we have a chunky bullish candle to the upside, but then what happens after that? We have some chunky bearish candles to the downside. So that shows us that bears started taking control. That shows us that sellers were in control. So even though we had some big bullish candles, the sellers started having some bigger candles. All right, so now let's go to the wicks. The wicks, rejection plus the reaction. The wicks show where price went but couldn't stay. They often reveal a rejection. A long wick at the top means that buyers tried to push price higher, but sellers pushed it back down. That's selling pressure. A long wick at the bottom means the opposite. So sellers tried to push it down lower, but then buyers pushed it back up. That's buying pressure. And short wicks just means that price stays stable. So let's go and show some more examples. I was just showing you guys this example right here. This one right here was very clear, very obvious to me in real time today. Buyers tried to push it up, sellers rejected, and then after that we had a strong bearish candle, and I knew to go short. I knew to short the market, and that's what I did. And then down here, what do we have? We have a big wick, and pay attention to the wicks. Look how the wicks are longer than the other wicks. Look at this wick. Look at this wick. Look at this wick. Look at this wick. Right? If you measure this wick compared to these other wicks, it's way bigger than them. So paying attention to these wicks is essential. It's crucial to understanding what's going on in price. And then right here again, we have a big wick that shows that sellers try to push price down, but then buyers just took it over. Then what happened after that? We had a big bullish candle that gives us confirmation that price is bullish right after we had this big wick. So we're just using everything in combination with each other. Back to the presentation. What each candle tells you, every candle tells you a short story. It's an ongoing battle between buyers and sellers. A strong green candle means that buyers were aggressive and in control. A strong red candle means sellers were aggressive and in control. Small bodies with long wicks show indecision, a tug of war. The market is unsure where to go next. By reading one candle, you can show who won the last battle. By reading multiple candles together, you see the war, and you see where momentum is building, where pressure is fading, or where reversals might come from. So it's constantly a battle that's going on in price. All you have to do is stack the right amount of confluences. In other words, reasons for getting into a trade together, and then now you have a high probability trade setup. But right now we're just sticking to the basics: candlestick fundamentals, price action basics, price action fundamentals. What's going on? Oh my gosh, what the fuck is going on, dog? The first time this shit's doing this shit all day. What, cuz? Yo, I can hear me? So why the yo, my computer's just freezing all of a sudden. What's up? Like, what's up? I'm still recording right here on my phone. Yes, I am. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what's going on right now, honestly.